Welcome once again, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, to Mysteries from Beyond the Other Dominion. I'm your host, Dr. Franklin Ruehl, and today we're going to ask if you can smell a ghost, reveal secrets concerning Egypt's only female pharaoh, telling you everything you ever wanted to know about Godzilla, King of the Monsters, and critique the popular TV detective series Dragnet, starring Jack Webb and Ben Alexander, and cover other intriguing subjects, time of course permitting. But first, the question of the day: can you smell a ghost? Well, many people claim they have smelled a ghost at the Elmwood Park Cemetery outside of Chicago. And here's a photo showing you two parts of that cemetery. Specifically, people claim they've smelled a sweet fragrance and heard whispering voices in the wind near the grave of one particular individual, an Indian chief named Chi Pinquay. Now, Chi Pinquay was actually the chief of three different tribes: the Ottawa, the Chippewa, and the Potawatomi. And in 1829, he heroically saved a captain and colonel and their families during the massacre of Fort Dearborn. As a result, he was first of all given an honorary American name, and that was Alexander Robinson, and a vast tract of land. And in 1872, when he died, he was buried here at the Elmwood Park Cemetery along with other members of his family. Now, repeatedly, people claim they smell a strange fragrance only near Chi Pinquay's tomb. The question is, are they smelling a ghost? Well, David Desimone, who sent me these photos, recently visited his sister in Chicago. She and her daughter are pictured here. And he visited that grave. And he too smelled that strange fragrance. He didn't hear any voices, but he smelled that odor. Interestingly, neither his sister nor her daughter smelled that, but he did. And he thought, well, maybe it's just the flowers placed on the grave, or maybe it's the foliage surrounding it. He couldn't find any trace of a scent from flowers or the surrounding foliage. He went back the next day, and once again, he smelled that strange fragrance. And it's just possible that he was smelling the ghost of Chi Pinquay. Now, I previously told you about Vardogers. These are the living ghosts of individuals. They precede them where they're going. We've had a number of good, well-documented cases, and in a couple of instances, a fragrance was involved. For example, there's one case of the wife who was waiting for her writer husband to come home. She thought she heard him enter the door and smelled his cigarette smoke in his den. He wasn't there. Then about 10 minutes later, he did arrive. The Vardoger seems to be the spirit of the individual who precedes him to a location. And then there's another case of a man who was waiting for his wife. He thought she had arrived because he smelled her Chanel No. 5. Then she arrived, say, 5 or 6 minutes later. Again, a female Vardoger in another case. But since have been involved with the paranormal with living ghosts, the so-called Vardogers. This is the only case on record I know of a fragrance associated with the dead. But it seems to be a very well-documented case. If any of you have occasion to go to Chicago, I ask that you please try to take in the Elmwood Park Cemetery and determine if you too can smell a ghost. Now, I should point out there are other cases of what we call phantom olfaction that you'll hear about in the future. Yes, it is possible that you can indeed smell a ghost. Now, until next time, may the power of the cosmos be with you. Yes, yes, yes.